is my little shed that I built, the old copper, and this is where the magic happens. So right now in my little shed, I'll just show you around. We have the spirit making cupboard with the fermenter on top, a little bit of the products down below and on top here as well, and then I just have a little couch where I can relax. And my other hobby is motorbikes, and I enjoy my motorbikes very much. I used to do all the tar seal roads on a Harley Davidson, tour the whole of North and South Island. I love those motorbikes, but now I'm into adventure riding, as you can see from my videos, and I enjoy getting out off the gravel, off the tar seal road, into the gravel roads and into the hills, the mountains. Right, back to this bourbon wort. As you can see, it's been bubbling now for three or 4 days, bubbling steadily along. That's a good sign. Now what that tells me is that there's a lot of sugar, and the sugar is being converted now to alcohol, and that's the process with fermentation. So once that stops bubbling, then we'll take this entire bucket and we'll go through and we'll pour it into the still. That's the still there, and as it heats up, I have a flame at the bottom which I'll show you later. It's also got an element to heat it up, and then the vapor rises. And what happens with the still is that alcohol vapor is thinner than water vapor. So the water vapor, as it heats up, it comes through and it gets to a point over here where it starts to attach itself to the actual still, and then it condenses and goes down back into the main wort. But the ethanol or alcohol vapor, that's far thinner, and that goes through all the way and gets pushed through, and then it comes down here, goes through that coil which is submerged in water, condenses, and it trickles out of that little nipple over there into a bottle, and that's the alcohol that we're looking for. That's the beginnings of a good bourbon that will come out of it. Hey guys, so let me tell you the ingredients of this bourbon mash that I've made, that we did last week, and we've made the wort, and now this week we're going to actually, at the end of this video, I'll be showing you the whole process of actually distilling that bourbon wort. But the ingredients, let me share that with you. So there was, first of all, the base 4.5 kilograms of flaked maize. That was the base of the mash. Then we also added 2.2 kilograms of rye malt and 2.2 kilograms of barley malt. Now the interesting thing about barley is that it helps to convert starch into sugar. So as these three products, the flake corn, the rye and the barley, steeped in 65 degrees water for about an hour and a half, that you just stir it constantly, and that releases all the starches and sugars from that malt. But then we go ahead and we add the alpha enzyme, which converts the starch to sugar, and that goes for another 25 minutes or so. And then you extract the grain, take all the grain out, and you're left with the wort, which is now ready for fermentation. That went into the fermentation bucket and has been fermenting for about a week now. That process is actually stopped now, so we're ready to get this beautiful bourbon wort distilled, and that'll be the makings of an amazing whiskey, hopefully. So at the end of this video, we're going to show you the whole process of distilling this bourbon wort. Enjoy, guys. I'm enjoying it, and I'm sure you can too. Cheers, eh? Hey guys, I must just mention one thing. In my comments, one of the fellows from America commented on how do I make sure that what I produce is not contaminated with poison. Now, just to let you know, making alcohol and using a still in New Zealand is perfectly legal. It's one of the countries where you can do it. You don't need a license for it. And a lot of people have done a lot of research on the dangers of methanol. Now, methanol is the dangerous byproduct. When you convert sugar to alcohol, it makes what they call ethanol, and ethanol is the alcohol. But there's a very small chance of producing a little bit of methanol. Now, what everybody does, just in case, the first product that comes out of the still, they get rid of that, maybe 300-400 mils, they throw that away, because methanol is lighter than ethanol, which is lighter than water, but methanol comes off first. So the dangerous product is methanol. There's very little chance of, when you're stilling sugar, getting methanol. Methanol comes more from, apparently, the research that I've done, from fruit. If you're doing fruit or other natural sugars, you could possibly produce methanol. Now, even so, people that I've spoken to, they assure you've got to drink an excessive amount of alcohol that's containing methanol to actually have any effect. If you had to drink a bottle of methylated spirits, you wouldn't be well. That's poison. If you drink a bottle of methanol, well, you're not going to do well, and the chances are it will affect your eyesight and your kidneys. But the amount that a single still produces is, if any, is so little that it has no effect. But just for safety's sake, just for peace of mind, we always throw away the first half a cup of spirit that is stilled, that comes through as the first bit of stilling. So that's just to let you know, we've taken these things into consideration. So I thought I'd just address that one thought that did come through. And by the way, thank you for your comments. It's really nice to get comments from you guys. I'm learning, starting off fresh, but most of the comments have been really positive. And yeah, if you see something that I can improve in, well, let me know in the comments if you have experience in this regard. It's nice to get constructive criticism. Very good. Anyway, so for the next little video I'm going to be posting now, let's move on to that, and that is the distilling process of this mash that I've just made. Hey guys, I'm super excited. The time has arrived for us to put this little wash through the still, and we're going to see what comes out the other side. Hopefully it'll be the start of a good bourbon. So I've got all my gear set up here, ready to do the distilling. First thing we want to check though is if the wash is ready to be stilled, if all the fermentation has stopped. So let's take a look. So what I've got over here is a hydrometer, and this will give me a good idea as to what the specific gravity of the wash is. It has to be round about 1002, between 1002 to 1008 for the fermentation to have stopped. So let's have a check. So in the fermenter is the wash that we made a couple of weeks ago. Did the video of that. If you haven't seen that, go back and look at my previous video, making of the wash, a bourbon wash with 3 different grains. Alright, so here's the hydrometer. So we'll put that in. Wow, that's sinking down really good. And yes, that's awesome. That's about 2002. Pretty good. 2002. Excellent. So I'll just show you on the camera here. It came up to over there. 2002. Very good. So we're ready to do the still. All right. I'm super excited, man. This is going to be so cool to get this little baby fired up. We're going to be cooking with gas and get this still boiling away. So let's give that a go, eh? I'll set it up. So the trick now, guys, is to get that wash into the base of the still. Let's give that a go. Let's full bucket, so I'm going to try not to mess. Actually, on second thoughts, let me go and get another jar. Okay, I've stolen my wife's Kenwood mixer bowl. Perfect bowl for doing this job. Beautiful. So there will be sediments down at the bottom which you don't want to get in. I believe we keep as much sediments out as possible. Wow, this smells fantastic, eh? Oh, it smells so good. I feel like drinking it. It smells a little bit like ginger beer. So flake corn, malted rye, and barley. And that's the beginnings of a good bourbon. Get a load of this, guys. This is going to be a good one. I'm just busy filling up my condenser with water at the moment, and I've got a hose off the bottom to have water recycling through and a hose at the top. Okay. I should manage it now. Let's put this one aside. That's it. Look at all the sludge that's in the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that. There's heaps of sludge. I don't want to put that in because that's just yeah, sludge, slag. Alright, that's about it for now. We're going to see what happens next. I'll switch off and then switch back on when we're up and running. Okay, gentlemen, gentlewomen, check this out. We're cooking with gas. It's on the boil. I'll just bring the camera to show you a little closer. Have a look at this. Alright. So there we go. It's cooking with gas. Our wash is being heated. There's an element connected as well, and that's just heating it up. Eventually I'll turn the element off when it reaches temperature, and I just turn the flame down to keep it constantly at a good 75 degrees or just over. So I put this copper band around here just to protect the wind as well, from getting to the gas. But there it goes, and it'll be coming through here shortly, through the condenser and into my little stainless steel jar. What I've got down at the bottom here with my condenser, I've got a valve there, so I can open that valve and open this hose tap to keep filling it, and as the steam comes through, it condenses going through there and comes out of that point. So it's surprisingly, when the steam comes through, when it's condensating, this water gets quite hot. So if I just left it as one body of water, it would get too hot and it wouldn't condense properly. So the water has to be cold. So we just put this hose tap in the top, and we open that drain and then keep it at a level, and the whole thing just goes. So this is the condenser at work. You can see the hose fills the tank. As the heat, the steam, the vapor goes through the coil, it heats up the water. But now we're putting good cold fresh water in all the time, and at the bottom we have a drain that's open just at the right size, so it stays constantly full, but it's replacing hot water with cold water. So that's really working well. And we're just about on the boil now. Nothing coming out yet, nothing as yet, but soon we're going to be dripping. Hey guy, I got some good advice from another guy that I was watching. He's a New Zealander as well. I think his channel is Still It. But anyway, he was saying about what's the best way to know that the wash has finished fermenting. Many say, well, it stops bubbling, but hey, it can stop bubbling for a number of reasons. Sometimes there's a fault or something goes wrong. Sometimes it'll stop fermenting and then the temperature changes and it starts again. It's all based on the yeast that you put in. But anyway, the best way is what we've done with a hydrometer, checking the specific gravity. And if you check the specific gravity and it's down to between 1002 and 1008 and it stays there, then you know it's pretty much stopped fermenting. So I've had this in the bucket now, the fermenting bucket, for about a week. And for a couple of days now there hasn't been any action, so that's an indication that it stopped. But I also tested it with the specific gravity, and sure enough it reads the right reading, 1002 or 1003. So I know that there's no more fermenting taking place. When I put it in, I checked the sugar content and it was really high in sugar, so that's a good thing. Everything's working in my favor. Let's see what happens. While I'm waiting for the still to heat up, I've just noticed this. Isn't that amazing? Look at the vortex going right down from the top of this condenser right down to the valve at the bottom. That's amazing, eh? It's working well. I've also thought of putting my little what do you call those things, a little funnel, so as not to spill a drop. There she goes. I like it a lot. I've just put the thermometer in, just watching it climb. We'll see where it stops because it hasn't come to a boil as yet. So it's still climbing steadily. Let's see what happens. 58, 59, 60. Yep, it should be probably around about 65 now, possibly. Let's see what happens. 63, 64. Oh yeah, climbing up above 65. Right, so it's 73.2 now. It's slowed down a lot, but it's still heating up slowly. But it'll be interesting to see at what temperature the spirits starts condensing, the vapor starts condensing and coming out of the little nipple into our bowl. 74, so let's see, I'll show you when it starts. Listen to this, guys, I can hear it coming. Hear it bubbling? It's just started dripping. Oh ho! The first fruits of this still. That's the dangerous stuff. Methanol, the poison. Nah, the chances are that it's methanol is very slim, but we will throw the first bit away. It looks like this old still, the old copper, has got some prostate problems. It dribbles and then stops, dribbles and then stops. But once it gets going, it'll be a steady trickle. Let's see what happens, eh? Maybe some of you professionals out there can let me know. The first bit that came out was quite milky, like it still had, almost like it had like a corn flavoring or corn residual pieces in it. Not pieces, but it was just milky. Is that normal? It's cleared up now, and it looks like it's getting clearer and clearer. Maybe what happened was it came on the boil too quickly and some of the water got through. But it's clearing up. This is still a little bit milky compared to just a sugar mix that I've made before. A little bit milky, but I think it's clearing up now. Anyway, we'll see what it is. Maybe you can let me know in the comments if you know why it starts off being milky and then clears up. This is now with the grain mix. Maybe it was just a bit hot to begin with. Yep, anyway, it's all good. Let's see what happens. It looks like 95 degrees, 95, between 94 and 96 is the optimal temperature. The still's running really well now. The liquid is really nice and clear, and yeah, no, she's running good. Look at that. Give it a taste. Oh my lordy lord, that tastes very nice. Very nice. Man, you can almost taste the barley and the corn in it. Get ready for the next bucket. Alright, there she comes. Almost there. A little bit more. You can do it, mate. You can do it. Concentrate, concentrate. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Another successful jar. Check this out, guys. I'm going to do a spirit test. So this is the previous bottle that came through. So I'll put my spirit tester into a test tube and see where it's at. Get the bubbles off. .55%. 55%. I don't know if that's normal for a mash to come out at 55%. It'll be interesting to see. I'll see what the previous bottles were. So this one reads 55%. Just over there. Yep. Amazing. So after I discarded the first bit that came out with the supposedly methanol in, this was the second jar, and see how milky it is compared to what's coming out now. But it's interesting, I've just tested the alcohol content of this first jar, the milky jar, and that is only 30%. See there? That's only 30% alcohol, whereas these jars are 55% coming out. So that's interesting. So it could have been just water vapor as well, which picked up particles of the grain, which discolored it. More than likely that's the case. If you know, tell me in the comments. I'd like to hear. Thanks, guys. Just documenting this. This is the fifth canister, or the fifth bottle that I filled, and there it is sitting on 45%. 45%. Hey guys, there's nothing like having a drop from your own produce. What I've got here is a rum and coke. This was from my previous batch. So I'm having a rum and coke, watching my bourbon trickle into the bottle. Gives a person a lot of joy to drink from your own produce. Very nice. This rum was actually just made with a sugar base, just sugar and yeast, and then I put plantation barrel chips, plantation rum barrel chips into the mix, and a bit of rum flavoring, and it is absolutely delicious. I kid you not, it's delicious. Well guys, that's about it for now. We've last week we made the mash, we fermented the mash and to get a beautiful wash, and this week we've put the wash through the still. So this is the last of it now coming through. The old copper little canteen getting filled up with last of the spirits, and there you go, from 55% all the way down to 35%, and a nice rum and coke. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't seen last week's video, with the bourbon mash, preparing it and getting it ready, then check that out, and then this video is the one that follows. All good, guys. Next week I want to do something a little different, and I'm going to show you some creations reusing old copper cylinders. As a plumber, I get a lot of them, so I got a lot of time to play around with them as well on the weekends. So there's some creations that I've made in my garden, and we'll have a look at those to give you some ideas. And then back to motorbiking again. There's some beautiful trips coming up. So thanks for following. Hey, if you like this video, give a thumbs up. Share it with somebody else if you want to, with common interests. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Cheers, guys. Have fun. Still on. Check this out, guys. There's my rum and coke. I found a purpose for that vortex in my condenser. So right now my rum and coke is stirred, not shaken. Yep, there's always a purpose for everything that happens. Okay, it's time to do it. Be sure to subscribe. Cheers, guys. See you next week.